All right, this is episode 2. I know it says episode 1, but rolling.
Golly.
All right, this, check. Let me put the headphones on. This is going to be a fun one. This is total freeform. If you've noticed the background looks different, it's because I'm in Nashville today.
Yep.
And I've got a special guest. Here, there we go. So I have a special guest. Oh, it's crispy. So
how's that sound to you?
The sound, you can already hear my guest. The sound is real crispy. That's because we are in I-1067 studios with my best friend since I was 12 years old.
Let's go.
So we go back since bowl cuts. Him and I have been making media probably since then. Not for money, but we were just making it because we love doing it. I really don't. It's hard to describe this guy because he does everything. He used to wrestle, like not professionally, but backyard and in school.
Though one time I was a manager at a professional wrestling show.
Really?
For Hazard.
That's right.
Yeah.
So he's been on the radio in Maine. He's had the #1 night show in Maine, I believe, and in Nashville.
Yep.
Now we're in Nashville here. So I slept on my man's couch. Paid some bills at the same time, tried to make it happen. I was here maybe about 5 months, and now I've moved on. I think him and I were talking, so before the episode started, we had this great conversation because every time we catch up, it's really like, we reminisce, and I feel like we don't go too far down the nostalgia road where it's bad. But I'm getting away from introducing my man. This is he's my best friend, but he's your favorite homie. This is your favorite homie, JR, radio personality,
Dude.
DJ extraordinaire, rapper, dancer. What else can I say?
Dude, how can I live up to that billing right there?
That was the first billing I've gotten to give. He's the first guest.
That
on my
feels
podcast.
cool. First and foremost, thanks for having me on the show.
Of course, you're welcome, brother.
This is super, super cool that you're doing something like this because I've always thought you had so much knowledge and so much history and stories to share. And I'm glad that you found a form of media to be able to do that.
I appreciate it. Yeah. We were just talking in the car on the way over to the studio. It took us a long time to set up all these cameras. When you look at the wide angle, you can see there's a lot going on.
It's a production.
And so, vlogging, I've done that. I've done the daily vlog. That got me super exhausted.
Dude.
It's not for me. I learned that 21 days in a row. Cool. Called it quits. I'm going to still vlog every week.
Right.
But the podcast is where I live. In the studio, I can control the setting, control the sound, the cameras, and I love teaching you that stuff. I'm glad. So let's start with that. I'm glad that you picked up when I said, hey, if you can make a vlog, if you can get on YouTube, you're just going to, you're going to zoom. And look at you now.
Well, that was the thing is after I had done radio in Portland, Maine on the just #1 station I listened to ever since I was a kid.
Same.
Landed a show there as a mix show host. Wasn't even able to talk, mind you. I could only mix records, right?
And now, for everybody who knows, radio doesn't really pay. And at the time, you weren't getting paid at all.
No, I was just doing this for, getting my name on the air in a couple Snickers bars.
I mean, Snickers bars are good.
They were expired, though.
Oh, come on. What about the gift cards?
The restaurants didn't exist
Come
anymore.
on. Are you kidding me?
That's a real story.
All right.
They didn't actually exist. They were shut down, but it didn't matter to me because I got my foot in the door.
Cool. So that's where you started. So when was that when you started the mix show? How old were you?
Gosh, what was it? I don't know. I want to say like 26, maybe 25.
So was that after you came back from California? We'll get into all these stories soon.
Yeah.
We're just trying to
We have
find
a lot
starting
of cool
point.
stories. Ultimately, it was... I remember my first broadcast with Rob when I actually got invited to co-host the night show with him was 2014. It was 1/6/14.
Oh, dang. You have a good memory.
Yeah. I remember that because Max made us the graphic.
Max. Yo, shout out to Max Maxwell.
Yeah.
All of you know, that's my guy. I work for him.
Yeah.
But a quick story about Max is actually... Ryan and JR. So did Ryan meet him before you, or did you meet Max?
I did.
Okay, so JR is the
and it's
original,
a weird story.
The original point, right?
Yep.
So JR is the first connection to Max. Then he worked with my brother on a restaurant in South Portland, and then I met Max. So you're looking at the patient zero?
I would say so. Yeah. I mean, I knew him way back when.
Yeah.
It's a crazy story how I met Max too. I was emceeing a gentleman's establishment.
Oh, all right.
Which is actually on my resume.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's cool. You're out there like that. So.
Oh, dude, I don't care.
So here's the thing, right? Because we're 33.
Right.
We've known each other since we were 12.
Yeah.
We grew up. We did some grown up things. Now we're doing grown up things all the time. But this guy, he has such a range in your voice.
Thank you.
Maybe you can break into what. Give him a sample, and then I think people will understand what your job was.
Well, essentially, there would be these scantily clad women who would need to be talked up.
Got it.
You know, some of them had awesome names like Corvette.
Oh, wow.
Some of them were, more different, like Nadia.
Okay.
You'd have to get up there with it.
Intonation up and down.
Yeah, so a lot of it was eat the mic as much as you possibly can.
Okay, so if you can't figure out what he used to do, I think you know.
Yeah, I'd be like, all right, guys, we got a 2-for-1 special right now. It is showtime. Find the lady of your choice.
So,
don't be a schmuck. Dig out that buck. We had all kinds of.
And it's funny. I would never go into that place, but my boy was working.
Yeah.
And so it'd be 2 p.m. and he'd be like, "Yo, come get lunch." And I'm like, "Where do you work?" He's like, "Oh, Riverside Street." I'm like, "Do you work where I think you work?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's buffet time." So I come by. We kicked it there a bunch of times. It was just cool to see you on the mic.
Right.
Getting paid something.
You see, to me, that was kind of my dive into emceeing. That was kind of my dive into DJing, really. I mean, I got a taste of it with you out in California in about 2009, right?
Because so y'all don't know, I was the original DJ.
Yeah. No, you were Disco Dave.
I had this plastic Hercules virtual DJ setup. So the software was a virtual DJ. And I had this deck, and I would rock the parties with Shane. Shout out to Big Cat.
Sig Kai?
Dr. Shane.
Yeah, chiropractor now.
Dr. Shane. He's adjusted me multiple times.
I need one.
Santa Clara, we go way back, but he would invite us to his party. So I obviously had graduated. I was never in a frat. JR never went to school, was never in a frat.
I wanted to be a college dropout, but I never made it that far.
Yeah.
That's what I always say.
So when JR was living with me, we would rock these parties. I said, "Yo, come, it's fun. There's going to be mad people." Mad people turned into 1,300 in a backyard.
Gosh, dude. That's when I got the first taste of it, though.
It was fun.
Where I was like, if I can control people's emotions through music that I'm playing.
Right.
Oh my gosh, that was like your first hit.
And then we went back at least 6 more times because people were like, "Yo, you guys are so fun. Come hang out."
And then that would spread over to the, sorority balls we would do.
That's right. We did multiple of those.
Yeah, that was my first taste with DJing. And from DJing, I became an on-air radio host. And now I have a night show in Music City, USA.
Look, everybody out there, you can make this happen. We have made everything happen in our lives from what seemingly is nothing. Yeah. And I'm not saying we didn't have the means to get the equipment, but we didn't have all the best equipment, and we only had each other. So there was this one time recently, right before you moved to Nashville, probably that year was 2016, 2017.
Yeah, we had just finished up the Shut Up and Party prom tour.
And that was really fun.
Yeah.
And that was just us doing gigs, going to Wiscasset.
Trying to make money.
I had moved back from New York with no backup plan. No. I just left Madison Square Garden and said, you know what? My relationship had ended. My work was burning me out. I just need something else. And Jared was like, yo, I live in your dad's apartment.
I know.
Above the house.
I'm renting your dad's apartment. Let's link up. We can do some work together.
I said, cash is king. I need money.
Oh yeah.
I need money.
You ain't kidding, bro.
And so I had the camera skills and I said, hey, throw me a couple bucks to grip and I'll carry whatever.
Let's do it.
And then I said, hey, but what we should really do is we should make episodes out of all these gigs. Otherwise, if you didn't snap it, it didn't happen.
Right. Yeah. Right? See, what you really brought was the whole visionary aspect of it. To me, I was more of let me just go out here. Let me entertain people.
Because you're the ultimate MC. You get people excited. No matter what's going on. You're like, I'm going to get all you dancing. I don't care if you're in a good mood or a bad mood.
Right.
Let's go.
Yeah, this is a party,
This is a party. One of his most famous lines.
Oh, I love it.
Just the way he says it, it's not prolific.
You're like, JR, I know this.
We're here. We got paid to do the party.
I know. It's just too good.
So those gigs go on. But at that point, I didn't have anything. He didn't have anything. And I said to you earlier, if I was in that spot alone, if you were in that spot alone, I don't know if we would have like bootstrapped ourselves and like picked ourselves up and kept going.
No, I mean, I think that's a great way to put it. I think when you really break it down, it's like I had all these gigs lined up because I was at that point in time, I had already left radio.
Yeah,
You
we
know
have
what I
that
mean?
on a vlog, by the way.
We do. Gosh, man, that
you left the station, you left the queue.
yeah.
Let's talk on that just for a second.
Okay.
And here's the thing. This is a very important lesson. Wherever you leave, when you decide to leave, you don't want to burn a bridge. But
No.
at the same time, you have to stand up for yourself and for
Right.
what's right.
And know what your value is.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's what I kept preaching to you. I said, "Hey, this is cool, but how much more do you want to take the bus
Right.
to work?"
Yeah. Every day. It was an experience. It's kind of, I don't know. It's just weird, but it was an experience that I'll never forget.
Yeah.
It was my audio and broadcasting was always my first form of media.
Yeah, that's what you just said to me today.
Which is why-
out of all things,
I think we connected so well because you were always more visual
Yeah.
than I was. But yeah, I did that gig 2.5 years, right? 3 years.
in your hometown, which is kind of the coolest thing to know. Everybody
Oh,
that
it
knows
was-
you can't avoid you.
No, they couldn't because I was on the air 5-6 nights a week. Portland is a city of 80,000 people. So
Right.
more often than not, they got the cue. They could listen to that.
Shout out to Portland 207.
Yeah. Oh man, it's home for life
It's
in my
home.
heart.
Love
you
home.
know?
Not in the winter, but still love it.
Gosh, but it was an experience like I'll never forget because for some reason Rob Steele decided to take me under his wing, teach me everything I needed to be taught and a few things that I shouldn't have learned along the way.
Yo, he was so cool.
Yeah, and he changed my life forever.
He
But
is still cool. He's still with us.
Oh,
he's very
still,
cool.
No, he's
I
very
just haven't seen him in a
he's
while.
very much alive.
He's
yeah.
fine. He's fine.
He literally changed my life forever. If he never introduced me to broadcasting, which, sidebar, when I was 15, I used to record my own pretend radio shows.
That's what's up.
I would take, popular interviews with whatever celebrities and artists that were around at that time, and I would actually cut the jock out and insert my own questions.
Yo, this is why he's on the radio.
I loved it.
It's a level of obsession.
It was a level of obsession because I wanted to be that voice inside the box that's in your car that you can listen to wherever you went.
It's a very intimate relationship.
Yeah.
Like you always tell me, like you're speaking to one, but you're
Yep.
speaking to many.
But you really feel like you get to know somebody, and that on-air host becomes your friend.
Right.
They're as an on-air radio personality, you're essentially living your life on the air, break by break, 10 seconds at a time, 5-6 nights a week.
Every time I would come in and visit him at the queue, he had like at least 6 to 7 callers that would call him every night.
Yeah, they were the best.
And he would know them by voice within a split second.
Yeah.
And so he'd keep up a conversation with one guy about sports.
Yep.
Our shout out to Vicky Green.
Vicky
She would
Green
call in.
or Vicky Mean.
Vicky.
You never know.
If she wasn't feeling the song.
Right.
Yeah, but there were all these people that they really got invested in the show, and because they got invested in you.
Yeah.
Because I think you started subconsciously to build a brand, but you were one of the first people I was around who was aware of the brand and
Right.
what kind of leverage it could bring you, because that, I think, is how you got into the station,
Yeah.
into this building.
I kind of always, I don't know, I've always just strived to be the best at what I do in that particular field, right? And if you didn't notice me, I was going to make you notice me, whether it was by pestering you or
Right.
it was by just showing you what I can bring to the table, And I think I impressed Rob early on where he thought, you know what, I see a lot of myself in this kid. I think he can do what I do. And essentially, that kind of turned the corner. I left radio. I was
yeah.
burnt out on it, right?
Right.
And I kind of felt like, man, Rob wasn't kidding when he said there's no damn money in radio.
None.
So, but I didn't realize how little it was. And it's certainly more here in Nashville for me. But, the cost of living is so high here that it's tough still. But
Right.
I was just kind of at a point where I was making more money doing gigs than I was working a full-time job.
Yeah, that's facts. I was with you. I was just
Right.
seeing like, that check from this one night covered
Yeah.
your last 2 weeks.
Yep, exactly. So essentially, I was still technically only part-time, right? Because I couldn't go over a certain amount of hours. But trust me when I tell you, I was doing more than putting in my full-time's work.
Right, of course, because perfect your craft.
Exactly.
You want it to get good. You're like, if you're not paying me, it doesn't matter. I have access to this gear, to this room. I want to make it the best.
And as much as I took that as the ultimate opportunity to have my name, my voice on the air, photos on Instagram, whatever I could to identify myself with my audience, I knew that as much as I'm going to work for this station, in some regards, I'm going to flip the coin and I'm going to make them work for me. I started to use that steam that I was gaining to start getting into all of these different schools. And that's when things started to really take off for me, because I'm like, look, okay, I know I'm only going to get so much amount out of this from you, but I'm going to make the station work for me to where in return I can make my money outside of here.
Man.
So I'm not stuck in here. I can use this for what it is, and get myself to the next level.
And I mean, I think you built a good, honest relationship with management. All your peers respected you. You showed up early. You stayed late.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's the perfect employee.
Yeah.
And from my perspective, I could see, like, all right, you've hit the ceiling. You got to go somewhere else. You can't just stay here. You can't be a lifer.
No.
Like, you hadn't even gotten started. And honestly, today, the way that we both feel is we haven't even gotten started. We put in all our practice hours.
Yeah, just in the car, we're catching our stride right now.
And for me, it's like 11, almost 12 years later, getting paid.
That's nuts.
To do this.
Yeah, see, and I have just about half that time in my field.
Right.
I've been a professional broadcaster 5.5 years now. It's just wild to think you have over a decade in this, dude. And just learning along the way.
And here's the thing with any job, like, you probably learn, I don't know, 80, 85% on the job.
Yeah.
The 15 gets you in the door, the work ethic gets you in the door, but all the other stuff, you have to experience it firsthand or you can't do it.
No.
So I think that's a good place to break right now. We're going to get more into JR's story because I'm involved in, there's lots of stories.
There's no JR story without Daveismedia, and that's just being straight up.
And I'm going to see, I appreciate that. I'm going to see if I can dig up some photos of us.
All right.
Because we go back since bowl cuts, and I'm going to prove it.
You ain't kidding.
What's up, podcast? It's Dave. I wanted to let you know I have a YouTube channel. So if you're already seeing this on YouTube, no duh, this is just an ad for the podcast. I'm in the creative space right now. I'm actually editing my first episode right in here. So if this is past episode 1, hey, I'm wearing the same sweatshirt as episode 1, so it's just a look back. Anyway, go check out my vlog on YouTube. I do travel vlogging. BTS of working with my man Max Maxwell, all kinds of great stuff on there. Go check that out. And if you're a sponsor, this could be your ad spot. Right now I don't have a sponsor because this is my first episode. So anyway, sponsors out there, this is your ad spot. All right, back to the podcast. All right, we're back with my favorite homie, my best friend. I don't really call you, sometimes I call you YFH.
Yeah.
But mostly it's just JR.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
nobody really calls me Jeffrey besides my mom.
Yeah.
And that's usually followed by Neil when I've done something wrong.
Jeffrey Neil. I call you Jeff, though, sometimes. And people are like, who's that?
What?
They're like, oh, you mean JR? I'm like, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
That's who I'm.
so
like, you don't know.
So we were diving into this, right? So, like, I'm going through this thing. He's going through this thing. We both have no steady work.
No.
I'm hammering Craigslist. You're doing gigs. I'm coming with you whenever I can. We go to Sapphire.
Yeah.
Great times.
Ah, man.
Some of the best gigs ever. Shout out Jeremy.
Yeah. No, it's just, I was able, all right. So the day that I decided to leave radio, I had thought about it a year beforehand, and I had actually talked to you about it.
Yeah, I remember that.
And you said, look, don't make any emotional decisions, because I had a history of those back then.
Right.
It was see where the next year takes you, right? And this is the advice I got from Rob too. See where the next year takes you, and if you haven't achieved a higher level of success or you're not earning anymore, AKA, then maybe it's time to find another place to go or something else to do. A year rolls around. Mm-hmm. I'm talking to you heavily. You're back.
That's right
next door. And I'm like, today's the day. I'm just done.
That's right.
And I remember I went in, I met with AJ. He was a really cool PD to me. And I was like, hey, I'm sorry to do this, but I got to give you my 2 weeks. And the first words out of his mouth was, dude, don't do this.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's how you know when you're valued.
Yeah.
Like truly valued. Because when people are like, how am I going to replace that production?
And you know,
panic mode.
No, that's a nice thing to say. I looked at it as, I don't hold any grudges against any of those guys.
Yeah.
To me, I was probably a handful.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I wore my emotions on my sleeve. I still do to a degree here, but I'm a little more mature now than I was then.
The tough part about that, though, is that's what makes you great.
Right.
It's controlling it.
Yeah. I think in this world, especially in the media space, right? If you work in the media space, you're obviously a creative type, which usually tends to be that you're going to be more of an emotional person.
Yeah, you feel more.
Yes,
right.
Exactly. And it's drastically. It can be
totally.
It can be bad.
I'll tell you what, controlling that for me is tough.
It can be.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So from there, when I gave that 2 weeks, I started doing my whole countdown. Long story short.
The countdown would have been great.
Right.
Because it would have been for the fans.
Exactly. And the hardest thing for me to get over was that I didn't have a platform anymore to communicate with those listeners. And they were so, so, so important to me. And you just decided, you're like, JR, why don't you just start doing YouTube?
It's a free platform.
Exactly. But the thing about it is it was so tough for me to look at that camera and talk to the camera rather than just talking into this hunk of metal right here.
Because you get to be private. You got your own room.
You can't see me.
You're comfortable.
Yep.
Maybe you got your shoes off. Maybe you're eating something. And
yeah. So that was really tough for me to do. If you go back and watch some of my old videos, they were pretty rough. And my delivery was so radio guy.
It was so, yeah. Like I hear you break into it now, obviously, because this is where you work every day.
Yeah. And even here, it's a lot more controlled. I think I've really, really found my voice where it's not too over the top broadcaster, but it's not too chill, bro, either. You know?
Right. Yeah, you want people to be entertained and involved.
Exactly.
Like if you're not the most excited, they're not going to be excited.
Yeah. And if it wasn't for you teaching me how to pick up that camera and develop a new skill in a different form of media, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Man.
Because a lot of that content that I created along the way, even a little bit of help from our pal Joe, who shot a video with the artist Max for me, not to be confused with the other Max, Max Schneider.
Yeah, that was way back.
Yeah.
That was in the Q studio.
Yeah, it was actually that video, that day there, I gave Max his first ever interview on air, and his manager at the time bumped into my future PD.
So talk about that relationship and just talk about relationships in general, because you're very good at, making people feel important and actually being genuine about it.
Yeah. I mean, when being in Portland, we didn't have a lot of huge artists that would come through.
Right.
Portland wasn't in Nashville or in LA or Chicago or Miami, right? We'd be lucky.
And it's a seasonal town.
Absolutely. So to have Max come through, who has actually had really good success in his career, I wanted to do whatever I could to roll out the carpet for him. I wanted to make him feel welcome. I wanted to make him feel special as all get out. And at the same time, I wanted to do that because I was creating content for the station website. Which was actually creating a reel for myself. Which goes back to that, I'm going to flip the coin and make the station work for me.
Leverage. Total leverage, yeah. All those posts you had to make.
Don't even. I hate blogging. I will never, ever understand. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
Let me just say it.
Right.
I don't want to type it.
I get it.
I can't do that.
The quickest way. So this guy, Ash Cash, who I've recently met through Max and doing the Earn Your Leisure podcast, he preaches this about, if you want to write a book, don't do a transcription app, because it takes too long to then type it out. He just record the voice. Yeah. Because your thoughts are going to get out quicker, just an audio recording versus trying to transcribe or write it. Like there's a filtering process. Cut that process out.
That makes sense.
And then have somebody type it up later.
I like that.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. I like that advice. Gosh, I just forgot where I was for a second.
Yeah. So.
All right. Relationships, right?
Relationships, right. Why is that important?
Relationships can be some of the most important things in media, period, right? I mean, just like real
politics.
quick. Yeah, absolutely. So long story short, right? I do this thing with Max. I roll out the carpet. Everything goes super well, exactly how I want it to. And I actually get a good piece of content out of it.
Even better.
Max's manager is just blown away by it because no one's ever done something like that for him because he's not a known guy at the time.
Customer service, man.
To me, it didn't matter.
Right.
You're a guest on my show.
Yeah, you're in my house. I want to show you how we do things.
Right. You're a guest on my show. You're my homie. You know, like you're my friend if you're here. So Max's manager, blown away. Gosh, I don't even know how long later this was, but at some point in time, he bumps into this guy, Joe Breezy, at some, I don't even know what it was. It might have been a concert, convention, whatever it was. And he goes, hey, Joe goes, do you know anyone that could do my night show?
No way.
He goes, this kid in Portland, Maine, JR, you need him.
That's huge.
Come to find out, Eric had been pitching me to every PD that he was bumping into.
Yo, Eric, you're a good man.
Yeah.
I've never met you, but I
Yeah.
appreciate that from my dude.
He even pitched me to Radio Disney.
Wow.
Which to me is still a goal of mine at some point in my career, right?
Radio Disney, if you're listening, hey.
Right, holla at your boy.
You know, maybe not like today, but down the road, hit him up.
Yeah, I got unfinished business in Music City.
We're building.
Yeah. And it was so, what's the word, serendipitous?
It was.
The way that it happened because I had just had a talk with you.
That's right. Yeah, we were in the neighborhood.
And I said, Dave, I had this dream last night.
I'm like, all right, hit me.
And this is the snippet you can cut for the Instagram teaser.
All right.
I said, Dave, I had a dream last night. I was in a radio station, but there was nothing on the mic flags. They were all blank. And there was no windows. And I couldn't see where I was or what town I was in or what format I was even doing. But I woke up the next morning and I said, I have to get back into radio.
And I just said, all right, well.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do.
We walked down to the fall and I was like, Dave, I just need to have one of these talks with you, dude, like this. Right. You're not going to believe what happened. And then literally later that day, hey, JR, this is Eric. How'd you feel about doing nights in Nashville?
That's why you connect with people. You never know who you're going to meet.
That relationship, right, turned a major corner in my life for me. It made me fall in love with radio again. Come to find out, when they flew me down here to meet me,
right,
I walk into the studio, which isn't this gorgeous one you see now. And there's no mic flags. And there's no windows.
Come on.
I'm dead serious.
I don't think you ever told me that part. That's weird.
I know. And that was the thing. Because I don't know, man. It was just so bizarre.
Man, that's some deja vu.
So bizarre. I couldn't fathom it. I was like, I don't know. I am kind of a believer in, certain things are meant to be.
Right.
And I just think this was for me. And
yeah, that's faith for sure.
So many things had to align for this to happen. It had to be the dream. I had to do that interview for Max, and he had to bump into my future PD.
You had to leave the station.
I had to leave the station, and then I had to put on my big boy pants and decide I'm going to move far away from home, where I was that big fish in a small pond, even if I wasn't on the air anymore.
Right.
This was terrifying experience for me, moving down here, living by myself.
The terrifying experience for me was that first hour drive in U-Haul, bro.
In that rain, you got to admit,
we were like, all right, let's split. Let's split it.
Yeah, let's split it because I had just got my license. I used to be terrified of driving.
I know. Yo, I told this man, I said, can you read that sign? Because I remember we were driving, we were practicing, and you're like, and I was like, you need glasses.
Yeah, that says
over.
Stop, JR.
Yeah, I was like, you need to pull the car over because I ain't driving with you anymore. Go get glasses. And then it was like a snowy day. We went to the place. You're like, is this how you see all the time?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, this is what it's like. You're like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So anyway, we make it across the Massachusetts border, maybe like an hour and 15 minutes, and you're just like,
I can't do it.
I don't got it. And so I drove the 18 hours to Nashville.
Yeah, dude, we loaded everything up in a box truck, and you drove me to my new life. And it's kind of telling because you've led me in so many different paths just from the knowledge and the little things that you've been able to teach me along the way. And I'm so lucky and fortunate for that. So anybody that has a chance to listen to Dave and actually absorb the knowledge that he has, just please understand that if you actually take it at face value, not just take it, but apply it, Things can happen for you in no matter what creative or media space that you're in.
Bro, I appreciate that.
I mean it.
It's, because it feels good to see it in action.
Yeah.
Because I give you more advice the more you do.
Yeah.
The more people who are around me, like if they take my advice and apply it, I'm like, all right, you listened. I will continue to kind of pour into you what I know.
Yeah.
Because so many people have poured into me, like my professor Mike at Santa Clara. We still work together. We still hang out.
That's rare. That's
13
cool.
years later since I took his first class. So it's something you got to pass on. It's like, working with Max Maxwell. I'll say that for the podcast because there's so many Maxes in my life. He passes stuff on to me and I'm trying to pass them on to our new team there. It's just like, you just have to do it. So now you're here. We're in the studio, the brand new updated studio.
And it's interesting that you bring up Max because in a way, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here either. And it's so interesting how, jumping back to where I'm working at that gentleman's club.
Right.
I meet Max through a girl that he's dating at the time.
Right.
I had a song out because writing and recording music was always my first thing. Radio wasn't.
Right. So is that the one you recorded with Braden?
Ready to Go. It's the one that we had cut out west, but I redid it when I got back. That's right.
So we had the demo and you got it to
that
work.
way we kind of had it down. And I remember, I'm not going to say the girl's name, but she stole it out of some other girl's car.
The song.
Yeah, because I had burnt it on a disc before I had even released it. Because I wanted to,
what do you know about CDs, young cats? What do you know about mixtapes? Come on.
Come on, dog. Forget your SoundCloud. Burn it and do the light scribe disc. So she steals it out of her car and plays it for Max. And she goes, yo, this is the DJ at the club.
Wow.
And he goes, what?
That's what's up.
Pull up his picture.
Okay.
And Max goes, wait a minute, he's white? Dead serious. This is what she told me.
I've heard that before. People go, yo, he kind of low-key sounds like Jay-Z.
Right? I'll take it. Yeah, but it was just crazy. So she introduces me to Max.
Yeah.
First day I meet him, we weren't even friends yet. I'm just meeting him for the first time. I had only spoke to him on the phone before. He goes, we're going to the mall right now. And then I have a photo shoot for you at 6:00.
What?
I was like, okay. So this guy brings me to the mall. I had already gone earlier that day, got what I needed.
You and your cash, man.
But he goes, oh gosh. But he goes, all right, pick out anything you want, right? I was like, okay, like, what do you think is... It was just kind of awkward because we hadn't met each other before. So we're out there shopping.
Just a couple dudes shopping.
Yeah. He's like, all right, I want you to take this purple button-up shirt. And then I found these like purple flip-up sunglasses.
Oh,
you
just found them.
I did.
Come on,
complete accident.
Man, how branding happens is so funny.
I know, it's just wild. So I hadn't seen anybody wearing these anywhere.
Yeah.
Right. But they were just like, I think they were in like a Hot Topic somewhere or something.
Right.
And all right, I pick up all that stuff. We go over to meet Tom Couture.
The man.
Who was like a super great photographer in Portland. He's really talented. And my first ever pro shoot is with him. And I'm filming the behind the scenes on my flip cam.
Yeah.
This was in like 2010.
That vlog lives somewhere, people.
No, it does.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy to think that that's 10 years ago now.
What?
That beginning stage led me a decade later to be here. We do the shoot. Max funds me to record my mixtape. My mixtape turns me into, I can't get every DJ in town to play my song, so let me become a DJ, learn a different form of media, so people have to hear my stuff, because I'll sandwich it in between a Rihanna and a Jay-Z's. Like, I don't care.
You're like, well, what's that beat? I've never heard that.
You're going to hear me. Mm-hmm. And that rolls into radio, and then that rolls
turned it into a civic nightlife, and then you were hosting not only like events, but you were performing your songs at your own parties.
Crazy.
Yeah, so that's the resourcefulness. Like, if you're listening to this, like, JR has a way he can get in the door. You give him a crack, you see a little light, he's going to get in the door.
And my advice is literally get your hands on every single piece of media that you can.
Yep.
If it's being a a singer or a rapper, if it's being a DJ, if it's being a radio host, if it's being a vlogger, if it's being a podcaster, because I'll tell you what, I've done everything under the umbrella besides blogging.
Right. Yeah.
Get it out of the door.
Yeah, my man has done a wrestling podcast.
Yes.
So what
I did
you're
it for
saying
over a
is
year.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
People out there, like I did my baseball podcast 2 years. It's a lot of work.
No, it is. Yeah. And wrestling has always been a form of media for me that
right.
I genuinely love, and I always have my entire life. It started to make watching it work. It started turning it
was
into
like homework
for me, where I was like,
it's a chore.
Tapping out. I'm done with that. I can't do that. So after
so you're back to enjoying it again.
Absolutely.
Right. Because it starts out good. You're like, oh, I already love this. This is great. I can marry two things.
We're already talking about it in the hallways. We might as well turn the mics on.
Right.
But yeah, get your hands on every piece of media you can.
And like specifically, are you talking about being on a bunch of platforms or recording yourself or?
The platform, I mean, you can kind of choose which one is going to be best for what you're trying to do. But I'm just saying, I'm not even telling you to have a backup plan.
Cool.
I'm just telling you there's extreme value in my experience at being good at a lot of things,
right,
rather than being very great at one thing.
Yeah, you want to spread your bets. You don't know what's going to take off.
Yep.
Because like I'm always saying, content is currency.
Yeah.
Like the content is currency today. Companies, like I was telling you before, my whole thesis is like, all right, so Gary Vee is a big deal.
Oh, gosh.
But a lot of people don't learn about his company, Daveismedia, without hearing it from him.
Yeah.
So the bigger his personal brand gets, the more people want to work with his company.
Yeah.
So if your brand explodes, that's how you affect the bottom line.
Yeah.
Your brand, your personal brand, not your company. You don't need to pump out tons of Daveismedia ads. You don't need to pump out tons of, I'm just saying like radio station ads. Like, yeah, people know you're on the radio, but they're going to connect because they know you.
Yeah.
And then they're going to listen to other people on the radio.
Totally.
It's the funnel.
Yeah, perfectly put.
Yeah, so what a lot of people don't know about us, and going back into the origin story, is when we met, we both loved hip hop.
Good gosh, you have no idea.
And Tim,
Stepdad
Tim Pace,
smooth pace, the beat slow till you listen to Tim Pace.
He had this. You were living in Portland at the time.
Yep. I think it was Frederick Street.
Frederick Street, that's right. Yeah,
so
right by the Sea Dogs.
Fellow Portland Mainers.
Yeah, that's right. And so he had this 200 CD changer, and I was like, "What is
that's
this?"
unbelievable?
And it was full. I'm like,
who has that many CDs?
And this is like 2001.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's so many CDs here. No, it wasn't even. It was like 99.
What was the one we came across though?
So we had this song. And it was, I didn't even know what it was called at the time. It was a Mac 10 song. It was Backyard Boogie.
Yep.
And it was just the instrumental.
Yeah.
And at the time, I'd never heard a rap song, just the instrumental.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, this is cool. And Jared's like, yeah, we could like write a rap.
Yeah.
But I remember you messed with me like the first couple of times we hung out because it was that song Spider-Man by Another Bad Creation.
Yep.
And you're like, yo, I did this song. I was like, that's dope.
Like,
you did that song?
Bro,
like, yo, you're the man. Like, why? I'm like, why are you living over here?
Yeah.
And then you're like, nah, I'm just messing with you.
I'm just screwing with you.
But we would, that's when we started writing songs. And I think looking back, it was pretty hard for you and me to interact with the other kids because we like actually loved hip hop and rap.
It was everything.
And everybody thought we were just being posers. And we're like, I remember the one day we wore our clothes backwards.
Oh, yeah.
And people were like, what are you doing?
I used to do that a lot.
I don't know. It was because of those Taz shirts. It was
Bugs and Taz, crisscross.
Crisscross.
Yeah, totally crossed out. My mom used to eye me down to make sure that I didn't leave for school backwards.
Yo.
But I would go into the bathroom as soon as I got into school. Whoop, 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 boom, totally crossed out.
Dude, that's what's up.
Yeah.
So it's rooted, right? Like you look at us and maybe you don't see it right away, but like hip hop has just been our culture forever.
Absolutely.
And I think, I lived in Stroudwater, so like super middle class.
Yeah.
Nice, quiet neighborhood, but that's just the music that connected with me. And I think now I connected with it so well because I always wanted to be just in my own lane.
Yeah.
And I felt like hip hop allowed everybody to do exactly what they wanted.
Well, because if you
Be
think
unique.
hip hop, everybody was kind of a renegade.
Yeah, I'm like, this is dope. I never heard this. Oh, this person's dope. Like nobody's following the same formula.
And it wasn't conformed as one thing.
Right.
You know, it could be anything that artist or, creator wanted it to be.
Yeah, so I think because we kind of became friends over that.
Yeah.
And then it didn't matter. Whatever we did together, it didn't matter.
It was just a bonus that you were a big wrestling fan too.
I was just like, wait,
Yeah.
it was like, you like wrestling?
Wait a second. What was it?
Do you like WWE? Like we're talking about wrestling.
Did we just
right?
become best friends?
Wrestling. Yup. and then Joe Petz.
Oh yeah.
Joe Petz, big wrestling fan, and I was probably like not even close to as big as you guys, but you guys influenced me and like taught me everything I didn't know.
Just took over.
It was the takeover.
Yeah. Well, first there was downtown.
First there was downtown. Downtown, the place that we always hang around
at night. Down low, Grand Central Underground. Hanging with my G's in the town. That's why we kick it downtown.
And it's just a loop. That's all I can remember.
But it's so crazy to think about how that at such a young age could then catapult into, before I even started the whole Flip Shades thing where I met Max. Before that, I had touched base with you when you were back one time on a break from college. I had become best friends with your buddy Ryan, brother Ryan, my buddy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's so funny. And he would record. So back when we used to record Mad Music, Ryan took over.
Yep.
So we recorded Takeover. And when I was home from college, I was like, yo, beats, da-da-da. You're like, yo, it's kind of tight.
Yeah. And I actually was just hanging out with Ryan. And then he was like, oh, I bet JR could spit something on this.
Just hopped in, did it real quick.
Yeah.
And that's the one of the Christmas presents I got you was the Takeover framed with a note on the back.
And the note's still on the back. It's hanging up on my wall at home.
Yeah. So we've been talking about maybe redoing that, but that's like a whole
2007.
Dang.
That's cool, man.
So I'm super proud of that project to be involved at all. But Ryan would record all your raps. So we had guys like Jeffro and Martise and Dan, Trips,
Hazard, Hazard's for life.
Nice
my
to
guy.
Meet ya.
Yep, love him.
Just the cast of characters. I remember I made it a point to do one of my documentary films about the show. In school, yeah. And so I bought this mini DV camera. My professor was kind of pissed because he's like, no, you need to check out the cameras. I'm like, I want to go to New York.
Yeah.
So it was actually at Fairfield University. So I flew to New York. Spencer picked me up. He was like the de facto manager, but he didn't really do anything.
No, but now he's like governor or something in Maine.
He's councilman. But I think he's running for mayor.
Dude,
he's going to run for mayor. He's going to clean up this town.
Yeah, he can start by sweeping the floor.
So shout out to Spencer. He's doing like real things. He's a lawyer, all that stuff.
We always knew he'd do something like that.
He was serious. I just think like he was like, we were all trying to fit in our spots, and he's like, I'll be the manager because I don't really know what else I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Tons of stuff happened. I had such a good time filming this like doc. And I remember
you were vlogging before vlogging was vlogging.
I was. I just didn't do it that much.
No.
But I have the tapes, and I remember one of my quotes was like, it was so serious, and I took it so serious. It was like, if you're not doing what you love why are you living your life?
Yeah.
And I was just like, dang,
that was like
bar.
Boom.
But it was funny because like I didn't take myself that seriously yet. But I think it helped the doc anyway. I only got like a C on that project. I was pissed.
Damn.
I thought that was a good project.
Dude, especially now in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. Yeah. And like looking back, like to me, it's always more important to document
than to create,
right? You can create later. Gary Vee's made that popular, but it's so cool. I'm so happy we have all that footage. And I think what you were getting at with media is like any chance you can capture what you're doing, you should do that.
Yeah.
You have to, because all this stuff that we captured on the tour, all that footage, you actually just used it in a promo ad.
I did.
Like days ago.
No, days ago. Literally, I just dropped the trailer, and we're running a radio promotion now for JR's Party Playhouse Prom Tour.
That's crazy.
I already have 7 schools locked in and loaded.
Favorite school that you've ever done?
Ever done? Gosh.
What about a 1A and a 1B?
All right. Okay, let me think about this. The best prom that I've ever done was Brunswick High School. What was it? Class of 16.
Yeah, dang.
Unbelievable.
My man was, there's footage. My man is crowd surfing.
Yeah, first prom I ever crowd surfed.
What are you, 6'3"?
6'3", 215.
Crowd surfing.
Yeah.
High school kids.
But the cool thing about that was the series that we were documenting.
Yeah.
they had all been watching every school up to their school. So literally I got all these high school students calling out our spots. They knew what was coming next in the show.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah, so they're calling out our spots and they're just waiting for it. And it was the coolest, like...
They like expected us.
Yeah.
Okay, these guys are going to have a good show. They're going to film. Like,
they're going to do the confetti cannons. They're going to do the glow sticks, the silly string.
How many times do you go to the Party Warehouse store?
Jeez, man. I should have a deep discount there.
Yeah, where's the affiliate link? Party City, what's up?
What's good, yo?
We just been doing so much stuff. But, you know, it was important for me to say that, and you touched on it, when we started... We just love doing it, and it's cool since like 12, 13, 14.
Yeah.
We're 33.
Yeah,
This is like 20 years.
Yep.
Bro, we've been friends for 20 years.
2 decades of destruction.
Yeah. And we're still doing media. Like, our jobs revolve around creating content. So with that said, you produce, and here's the thing that like people don't give you enough props for. The Instagram feed for I-1067 always has a video.
Yep.
It's got a poll. Like, it's how you tease those new songs. Like, just that piece of content on the daily, that's a lot to create.
It is, yeah. Especially on top of, I need to fill 5 hours of on-air time, right? And I work in top 40 radio, so you're constantly playing a lot of the same music, obviously. But the challenge, Dave, is to serve it up in a different way every single time, to make the listening experience a new experience for the listener every single time. On top of that, my video duties here, whether it's vlogging or we're throwing a show.
Right, be careful what you wish for. With that new skill comes new responsibilities.
No, it always does, right? Because when you first get somewhere, like just speaking from personal experience, you first get here, you want to show them every single thing you can do. Like, you're going to be blown away.
7 different kinds of smoke.
Yeah, I'm a Swiss Army knife, right? And then people quickly grow to expect that.
Mm-hmm. You know? Oh, you're not filming? Yeah, you didn't ask me to.
But you're supposed to be.
Like, what do you have a show?
They're pretty cool about that here.
Yeah. And it's an adjustment period.
Oh, totally.
Because what you need to do is set the expectation. Hey, this bring this to the table.
Yep.
But if you don't plan it, that's not fair to me, because I want to do the best job. And when you're told to pick up a camera, you're like, okay, I want to plan where we're going to be, where's the light, like all that stuff I taught you. You're just like, I need to do that.
But a lot of the things that sometimes I'm asked to do is a little bit out of my range, where it's like, I don't know what a backlight versus a
fill and
fill
a key
light and a key light, and like, wait, what about the eye level, or how do I actually, are they supposed to be in the left and you're supposed to be in the right third, or is like, I'm a vlogger who I'm a radio personality who fell into vlogging, and I feel like I really jumped the curve on that. Obviously because you led me to it ultimately, but there's not, even today, there's not, even in Nashville, there's not just like a big amount of radio personalities that are doing different forms of media. There's doing one. Right. And I think you're asking yourself to just become a dinosaur.
Right, you are. With anything, like if you're not adapting and adding the new stuff, you're gonna fall on your own sword.
You are.
It's better to do it and then fail.
Exactly.
But if you fail fast enough in this 24/7 cycle, honestly, now it's like an hour cycle.
Jeez.
You can put up a piece of content. That didn't get a lot. Let me put up another one the next hour.
Yep.
So you've got that piece of content for I-106. So your day is like, you put up content for the station.
Yep.
You got content for yourself. And then you were mentioning to me earlier, like, if social media didn't exist, I would be totally cool with that.
No, literally, there's just sometimes, dude, it's tough to say, because social media to me is an essential thing of what we do, right? I mean, media is in the word itself, so it's kind of right in the realm of the things that we have to do. And for us to build the station and build the show and build JR's Party Playhouse and the brand.
Ultimately, you're building an audience with real people. Going back to when you started, you're like, man, I miss those callers.
And
this is a way to reach.
That personal connection. It's a different way of building that through social media. But if I didn't do this for a career, I would throw my phone in the ocean.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
I would throw it in the ocean.
I mean, if you were still living in Maine, you could do that.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I could just run over the bridge.
Yeah, you'd be fine.
The thing about it is, it's something that's supposed to be so positive. It's supposed to be so sharing and caring. But really what it is you feel like, or I can speak from my experience, you're always having to try to keep up with people. You're always comparing yourself to somebody dangerous. Or some other brand, and that's ultimately going to lead to your detriment, right? You're counting likes, you're counting comments,
right?
You're looking so far into analytics. Oh, well, if I post on a Thursday between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m., then I'm going to reach a higher. It's just so stupid. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Right.
But I do it for a living.
It's the game.
It is, and it's a tough game. It's a game that you can't win.
Right. The thing that you get to win, which is what you do, is you provide actual value.
Yes.
Like the time you take to edit that promo, it helps people know, hey, there's a sick party coming.
Yeah.
I want to go. It's going to be fun. Because the most important thing that social media, I think, gives everybody is if you convert on that situation, on capturing that audience, people crave shared social experiences together. Like, why do you go to a concert?
Right.
Yeah, you want to see the artist, but like when you and me saw Jay-Z,
dude,
way more fun to go with you than to be like, oh, cool, I got to go by myself and or go with somebody you don't really know.
Right.
You have the shared...
Because there's that hip-hop connection from the beginning.
From the beginning, we're like, yo, we're seeing Jay-Z right now.
At the perfect time. The catalog was just endless.
And so we have the stories to talk about.
Yeah.
I think that's the important part. You convert on the social media. But face value, on the surface level, social media can be dangerous because if you just treat it that way, as it being all vanity, so manicured, I got to take a picture 20 times to get the right photo. You know, like that happens. I'm lucky that I'm at the point that I just don't give a fuck about that.
Right.
But you still think about it.
Oh, totally.
Right.
You can't help it because it trains us to do that.
Totally. It's the highlights.
Yep.
And then people say, oh, well, why don't you just show the bad stuff? It's like, well,
I don't want to put negativity out into the world. There's already too much of it out there.
Yeah, that's a difficult argument. Now, you can be honest. I think the thing is like put out the great stuff, and then maybe you're like, all right, let me get real with you for a minute.
Like you've seen in some of my vlogs, I've come back from DJing schools or clubs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, tonight didn't exactly go the way that I wanted it to.
Right.
And I could attest that to DJing for Max and you in Atlanta.
Right.
Now, I thought this was a good point that you brought up. Like I have like my show's doing well here in Nashville.
Totally.
Right. And you were saying, oh, he's #1 DJ in Nashville.
Right.
You know, my buddy Aaron Trailer would attest to that. And he's one of the #1 DJs in Nashville.
Yeah.
So to hear that is amazing. It makes me feel great about my accomplishments. But you have to understand how it actually all boils down. Right. Top 40 radio is what I do. That's typically what I play.
Right.
Okay. So whatever records are reporting as top 40 according to the Billboard charts, that's what we play. Okay. Right. You'll hear pop music. You'll hear EDM. You'll hear a little bit of hip hop. Right. But it's typically straight down the middle pop music, which is what I've always been a sucker for my entire life.
Yep.
Absolutely. As much as I'd loved hip hop, pop music, right down the middle. Nothing better, okay? So for me to go into Atlanta and DJ for that particular crowd that was there at that party, letting off the steam after a long weekend, learning all kinds of great things, it was a challenge that I thought I was prepared for, but maybe in a sense that I wasn't, because a straight up hip hop set isn't exactly what I do.
Sure.
So it's like taking the #1 jump shooter and saying, all right, but you can only dunk now.
It takes away all my skills.
Exactly. So I can get on the mic, I can rock a party, but I mean, even with that said, Max didn't give me any direction of what kind of freaking music he wanted to hear.
Max is just like, hey, JR, go do your thing.
Yeah, he's like, just go in here and figure it out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you even told me there were multiple times like, hey, well, where's the 90s hip hop?
And I'm like, just go ask my man.
And you're like, did you talk to him?
That's like his favorite genre.
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
It's like, well, trust me, he'd much rather be playing that than what he currently is right now per somebody else's request, you know?
Closed mouths don't get fed.
Oh, exactly. So But I was able to take that for what it was. I was kind of in unfamiliar territory.
Yeah.
And I put myself in.
You find yourself there quite a bit though, and you're good at adapting to it.
To a degree, yes. I can get by.
Right.
But it's like take that same room and fill it with our 18 to 34 female demo.
Boom.
And the roof is going to come off.
Yeah.
Because that's what I do every night.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like seeing you outside of Bridgestone.
Yeah.
I was down here a couple months ago.
For the Chain Smokers and Five Sauce show.
Like, that
was cool.
Perfect.
Oh, gosh.
Perfect venue
right?
for you. Yeah. And that's, honestly, to be able to perform alongside people like that. Yeah. Just even if it's outside the arena for all the fans coming in.
Yeah, 20,000 people coming in.
That's
saw me play.
That's
an
audience.
Cool. Yeah.
So we talked about some social media content that you produce. Let's change it up a little bit. So, are you a big fan of the hot chicken in Nashville?
Oh, you damn right.
Yeah. All right. So best spot. What's the best spot?
Well, I've only ever had Hattie B's.
Okay, so
I've never had Prince's, which they say is the original.
I've only had Hattie B's.
Okay, same. They say Hattie B's is the safe route because that's the tourist route.
Okay, yep.
Okay, but they are I'd say they're the most lucrative and they're the most well known now, unless you're like a Nashville native.
Gotcha.
Right?
Gotcha.
They say Prince's came to be because Prince, whoever this guy is, was cheating on his wife, and she wanted to get him back. So she put a bunch of spices on his chicken to try to make him pay for it.
That's a cool story.
But he ended up saying, "Damn, babe, this chicken is kicking, man. This is that good. Damn, what you put?"
Couldn't even get him back.
No, and then they built an empire.
Made a monster. That's amazing. I didn't know that story.
Yeah, that's the folklore around here.
Nashville,
I don't know.
Man, I remember when I was down here sleeping on your couch, and then I bought that. I rented that space.
Yeah.
Over in Germantown. There was this banh mi spot, this Vietnamese spot that they had this banh mi pork sandwich. It was amazing,
dude.
And anytime I had a little extra money,
never brought that home.
Nah, I would eat it there. I didn't know how to tell anybody about it. I was like, yo, I'm gonna eat this banh mi. I'm gonna skateboard back to my studio.
Yeah,
I was in there late. Late. I miss living here. I wish I had more time.
Yeah.
But I think at the time, the money wasn't coming in how I wanted.
No, I get it.
I remember I had somehow, again, through Craigslist, like I'm a wizard at this thing.
But when you did leave, I was mad at you.
Yeah, why?
I didn't want to, I knew that you were making the best decision for you.
Right.
I was never going to hold that against you.
Right.
But to me, it was like, come on, don't quit yet.
Mm-hmm.
We can make it work.
Yeah.
We always have.
I do. Yeah, I do remember that conversation.
Yeah. And I was like, this one client didn't work out, whatever. I'll help you find more.
Right.
And I think part of that too was me not wanting to be alone as well.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I'm in a big city. 100 people move here a day. It is named the It City in America. So it was tough for me to be by myself. I was like, I would rather my best friend be here.
Yeah.
So I was kind of upset, but I was able to put it into perspective as to why, and I could understand. I was like, well, I don't know why you moved here in the first place, because all your work is in Massachusetts.
And I remember I was flying there like every month.
Yeah,
I would have a gig at the Boston Children's Hospital, at
Yep.
Foxborough Stadium, at the Red Sox, finishing the book, the cookbook. You helped me with that a lot. You were on a bunch of the shoots, even the ones I didn't go to.
Yeah, I was hanging out with Gerard Mayo in his house talking about DJing. I was shooting film of Bill Belichick wishing he would fall over and drop the trophy. I was that guy in the back like, come on there, Cowboy.
It's like, huh? Who let him in? Come on.
I had no desire to be there, but I just wanted to help you out.
That was and that's the thing with hiring people. I'm sure I could have found somebody really good with the camera, but I just didn't trust other people.
Right.
So I trusted you and Daryl. God bless Daryl.
Yeah, God bless his
just
heart.
he helps me out, and he always has, and he always will.
Yep.
But he was not the person I would want to lead the shoot.
No.
I was just in a bind. I was shooting in DC. I was filming another gig, and I said, all right.
You were spread real thin back then, brother.
I was like, I know you guys, so you guys knocked it out, which I appreciate that. I needed that content. But I was spread thin. And I think when I left Nashville, it was because I was like, I have no money. Yeah. All the money I'm bringing in is going to my rent, is going to the bills.
Yeah.
I barely eating.
I think it could have been a different story if you didn't rent the space.
I think if I didn't rent the space, and actually if I didn't take that job, if I had taken it as a gig and said, okay, hey, when you need a shoot, holler at me, let me know. But it got into the point, I got into that rhythm of like, all right, I'm getting this check. I need to be doing more stuff for this guy, but it wasn't enough money to justify like a steady thing. And I learned that. So then when I moved to Boston, I got a free space at BevNet.
Wow.
John Craven, my man, gave me a free office for 6 months.
Pour one out.
Pour one out.
There he is.
He gave me that. I was still working with BevNet with Brewbound. So they were paying me and giving me a free space. Ended up living with my boy Chris.
Yep.
He only charged me $100 a month for a room. Like, that's a friend.
Oh, yeah.
And so I said, okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
Getting back on my feet.
Here we go.
And once, I want to say that was like end of 2018 into 2019, I finally got my rhythm back.
Yeah.
I hit up Max and we did a few shoots. I said, dude, let's start an agency.
Let's do this like all the way.
All the way, all the time.
Yep.
And then he said, yep, let's go.
And it's just crazy to think, like, just me meeting him and Max helping me the way that he did to prep me for what would eventually become a career, right? He didn't prep me for radio,
right?
But he prepped me in media, and he prepped me to be a brand. And that was something I was able to carry into broadcasting. And then it feels so good for me to see him be able to help my best friend as well. And you actually bring a major thing to the table that he needs. You know what I mean? It's the perfect combination.
It's totally complementary.
Exactly.
Like him and you are really good at spontaneity and doing things off the cuff and only needing to practice a couple of times and never writing anything down. And I'm like, let's write it out. Let's plan it. Yeah. Let's the logistics.
For me, if I write down anything and I try to do that on the air, I'm going to stutter like an idiot, like I have my entire life.
It's so crazy.
From a speech impediment ever since I was a little boy all the way till now, I just stutter. I can't help it. But when I'm on this mic, when I'm doing my thing, when I have a cadence, when I have a rhythm, it doesn't come out. I can't explain it.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
But that's knowing yourself, because I knew like I'm not a great artist. I'm not I don't draw. I'm not a great musician, but I can frame up a shot. I can tell you a story without any words.
Yep.
And so that's made me my money. Like, look at us.
Yeah.
What we love doing is making us money.
Because I would go provide the entertainment, and you would capture the entertainment, and then you could tell that story back.
And we could enhance it.
Exactly.
And be like, it was fun. No, it was really fun.
Complimentary.
Yeah, exactly.
We can make it look better than it is. We've done it on a couple occasions.
Exactly. So, let's see. A couple more questions here.
Hit me. I'm feeling it.
Your handle.
My handle.
Where did your handle? It's your favorite homie.
Yeah, well, I like to say it as YAFAVHOMIEJR. Don't let Disney hear that. So essentially in 2006, right? Because my music career goes back further, or actually no, because when we had met and we had done Downtown, that was long before I had formed the roster.
Yeah.
Right. So in high school, I formed a rap group, named it with a roster, got kicked out of my own group because I thought I was in love, and I put this girl first.
Oh man!
Shout out to Amber one time, and my first ever real love, whatever.
That's what happens.
I was a
the first time.
I don't know.
You don't know what you're doing.
Right. So I got kicked out of my own group that I named, that I put together, and they're just doing their thing. I decide, F them. I'm going solo. Right? Bobby Brown going solo.
Man.
I was like, look out. So I did.
And people at the time that we were friends, but we just didn't hang out.
Right. Because
we were at different schools.
Different schools, still like close, but just engulfed in just entirely different communities.
That they never crisscrossed.
Never, right? So I'm doing that thing. And after the roster, graduate in 05, around 06 is when I actually came up with the name, because up until then I was just going by JR, right?
Right.
So I'm doing this record with my engineer at the time, Braden Biddens, a.k.a. BB Brat.
Yeah.
He still doesn't remember saying that.
Yeah, he did.
But like that guy was, he was super good to me. He understood exactly what I was trying to do. I think maybe a few times, maybe took advantage of a kid that, was trying to reach for something.
Yeah.
But overall, excellent experiences with him.
Yeah.
He's the guy that I cut my entire first mixtape for Max with.
He was just professional. Like when I came in there to hang out and watch a session, I'm like, this is how a session goes.
Exactly. So I had just figured out how to do double syllable rhyme scheme, right? Like I'm going to be the next chicka Slim Shady, like I can still spit flows with people, but I haven't written a record since we did Around the World and Father's Eyes.
I think we are going to have to redo Takeover, maybe add some new tracks.
That could be cool.
Yeah.
So I got these 3 verses, but I couldn't write a hook to save my life.
Yeah.
So Braden's in there helping me come up with one. And eventually it was just like bootleg Just Blaze beat, but it was fire still. Right? Yeah. And then he goes, how about on the last line you go, and to prove once and for all, I'm your favorite homie. And I was like, okay, whatever that means, cut it. Let's do it. Done. Song's a wrap.
So you didn't even think about it?
No, I didn't think about it at all. And then all of a sudden I'm out in Old Orchard Beach and it's like, hey, there go my favorite homie right there. And I was like, what the hell?
People out here know me?
And they're like, yo, homie, what's up? My favorite homie. And I'm like, hey. I'm like, I didn't know how to take it. I don't even remember.
My name is Jeff.
Yeah, I was like, y'all heard that? And they did, and it just stuck.
But you made it your @handle.
Yeah, I made it that.
Did you do it for Twitter first?
I did.
That's when I did.
Because today
Daveismedia.
I just got a anniversary letter from Twitter.
Dang.
I've been on Twitter for 11 years.
Shout out. Wow.
Right? Of course, I didn't really know how to use it back then.
But you're like, yo, you need that. Okay.
You need Twitter, right?
Right.
And to me, that's still one of my favorite forms of social media because I think it's best for anything that you're doing live, whether you're watching a TV show live, you're doing a live radio broadcast, live news, whatever it might be. I think it's the best for that. So that's how I came up with the @handle.
I like that.
And I would shorten it because spelling out favorite is the pain in the ass.
@your fave homie JR.
Yeah, and that's my handle for everything.
That's what I try to do. Daveismedia. I remember Ryan Leslie coined it.
Yeah,
because
I don't remember who told me to do that. I think it was Max.
So I came up with my own, and I was like, this is good. Like, that's what I do. Media, right?
Yeah.
Daveismedia.
But for you to have the foresight.
Yeah, and then I go to this music video shoot. I'm like, oh, cool. And like at the time I was working for free for Ryan Leslie, and we were in Berkeley. He was shooting a video for his one of his Less Is More albums. And he was like, Daveismedia. And then people just started calling me Daveismedia.
That's cool.
And I'm like, all right, that's legit. That's me. I mean, that's who I am.
Yeah.
I got no problem with that. So then I did have the foresight to say, all right, every platform needs to be the same.
Yeah.
So everybody listening out there, your handle should be the same. It's confusing to try to follow you if you're like, JR, your favorite homie, @your fave homie, your fave homie, your favorite homie.
Well, you see, because with mine, I was like, all right, so Twitter and Instagram are the same, right?
Right.
But I was trying to be different things at the same time. So you have my YouTube, YFH TV. Yeah. That's and essentially that went from an artist-based channel.
Yeah, let me put up my song, I'm put up a photo.
To a DJ-driven, a mobile DJ channel.
But once upon a time, there was this song that was crazy.
Oh, man.
So if y'all didn't crank that, you didn't live. You weren't living. Everybody was cranking that Soulja Boy.
Oh, yeah.
So walk us through your first viral video, which was Crank That Cowboys.
The crazy thing about that is, I don't even know if that word was around yet.
Viral? I don't think it was.
Right? Because this was like full-on MySpace days.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah, that's right.
So essentially what had happened, I was living on Woodford Street, moved in with my sister, which is always a recipe for disaster. I don't know why we did that twice or 3 times. But essentially, that was the biggest song in the world.
It was huge
at the time,
there was
right?
a dance,
oh yeah. So that was like I wouldn't say that was the beginning of YouTube, but for us, that was when we started to really notice the platform, and especially MySpace, right?
What year was that?
2006, 7?
Well, yeah, because YouTube was 05, 06.
Yeah.
So basically the beginning.
Yeah, like baby stages, right?
Yeah.
So at that, you know anything about me, I got the star on my arm, big Dallas Cowboys fan.
Huge.
You know, all my life. And I'm looking at the lyrics of the song. And at that point, everybody was uploading on YouTube and LimeWire.
Just anything.
Yeah, their own crank. I think there was even Crank That Simba, like for the Lion King. There was a Spider-Man one. I knew the whole dance to it. I would bust out the mask at the club.
That.
But I was like, I could change this to be all about the Dallas Cowboys players because we went 13-3 that season.
Yeah.
We were on fire. Tony, Romo.
T.O.
We had T.O., we had
Terrence
Jason Newman.
I only know all these players because of your song.
They're in the song, right. And then we blew it when it came time to try to win anything in the postseason.
But the song did not blow it.
No, it didn't. It was so crazy because I remember I was sitting there, right? And I pitched the idea to Joe Petty, our buddy. We mentioned him earlier. And he's like, that could work. And what if we took a bunch of clips of the team and we just we put it all together? Like that could be our video, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, we'll upload the song on MySpace. We'll put it on YouTube with the different clips and people will watch it. And boy, did they ever, because the original MySpace post had over 1 million listens itself.
Yo,
the video had
monster.
The video had 1 million plus. The original.
That's crazy. This is before people were getting regular million view videos.
Oh no, I couldn't fathom it. I remember getting an email from Marion Barber's agent, and he was like, I was at Terrell Owens' party last night, and they were playing your song.
Dude, no way.
Swear to God. And they also said, and the song was playing in the stadium.
Come on.
And people were listening to it outside the stadium.
Yo.
Tailgating.
Yo, you're like a super fan for that. You're a legendary Cowboys fan forever.
Yeah, forever, But the problem was I didn't know how to capitalize on that.
Right. Plus, it's all copywritten stuff.
Right. It's not even my own record, right? So it's 2007. I'm 2 years out of high school. I'm a young kid. I don't know what. I'm not even 20 years old. I don't know what I'm doing. I didn't know how to capitalize on it. But people kept asking me. I still get messages.
Really?
To this year,
No
to
way.
this day, yeah. Hey, when are you going to do another Crank That Cowboys? And I remember I came back, I did repeat the next year.
Yeah, what was Swagger Like Dallas?
Well, I did another Crank That, different lyrics, and then I did Swagger Like Dallas, and we did the video for that.
The video was mad fun.
Yeah, because you had the two of me.
It was just a basic, so for anybody with video editing, what you do is you split the screen, you keep the lighting the same, and then I have JR act out one part, and we time it. So I'm like, okay, it's all acting, it's blocking. And he was Jeffrey, which is like nerdy agent, like Urkel inspired.
He was great.
Alfalfa. And then it was JR. And I remember I cheated the shot where I was just the shoulder.
Yeah, but you had the blonde hair.
To each other. Yeah, the blonde hair. Just if you didn't notice that, it worked. It worked. So we did that, and that was fun, but yeah, not capitalizing on it.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do. And I was releasing my own music at the time.
Before a viral hit. But the cool thing was you understood the marketing deployment. We got to hit this platform all in the timing of it all.
What ended up happening was people would hear that. It'd be the top play on my MySpace page, and then it would go right down the list.
Yeah.
So all the other ones that I had released were just the listens were skyrocketing.
And that's, I think, the same as radio. Correct me if I'm wrong, but when somebody has a hit, yo, who is this Harry Styles? What's One Direction?
Yeah.
Let me go listen to the whole album.
Yep. And then if you think it could be even let's say, a year from now, somebody discovers your podcast.
Exactly.
They're going to go back. They're going to listen to as much as they possibly can.
Right.
So, if you're listening to this 10 years from 2020,
you're binging.
What up? You're binging.
The rest is going to be a fun ride.
Slow down.
Yeah.
You know?
Not all at once.
Yeah, but I didn't know how to capitalize on that at the time.
Tony Romo in this
watch it.
Yeah, I like that.
The response videos were the best.
Okay, one of the coolest things about YouTube is reaction videos and response videos. And there's that one where there's this dude who is hype. He's talking about something Cowboys.
It's on his webcam.
And he's like, man, I wonder how he did that.
Mm-hmm. Because the lyrics was tight, John. That boy.
He just said Tony Romo.
He wasn't cranking the Cowboys.
He was cranking them Eagles last night.
Boy.
That's like one of my favorite videos.
I'll remember him forever. He has no idea. Yep.
And like, again, going back to human connection, that's so cool that your song can inspire people to just be excited. Oh, about our team. Like, yeah, we're good. Yeah. Oh, yo, we got this song. Let's go. Come on, man.
You know, and it sounded pretty good. Like, you know, for us recording that in Audition in just a little bedroom. Did you record it
on the Dell?
Yeah, absolutely.
Dell.
Recorded it on Audition.
The
little Dell, which is still active.
And houses all the music from DNR.
From yesteryear.
From the roster.
Which I have a huge collection of all that.
Yeah.
I have a huge collection of it.
I think you gave it to me at one time.
Yeah.
I think I have that somewhere.
And I still go back once in a while. And I'm like, dude, you know what? We created all that music.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable to think of.
With no label, with no studio.
You know why we did it? Because it was fun.
It was so much fun. Everybody got together. It was our reason to hang out.
Yeah.
And then we go get in the car and we do like a car test.
And we bump it.
We bring it to the club. We get them to play it at the club.
Yep. It was nuts, dude.
That was the coolest.
Like, literally, some of the things that we've done are things that I would never trade in for a million years.
Me neither.
I would never trade them in because those experiences will live forever in my mind.
The time is just well spent. Like, at the end of your life, which you hope is a long life, you just want to have those memories.
Yeah.
And like, to me, we have so many like vivid, etched, like good and bad, like amazing.
You can be like, hey, do you remember when so-and-so? Oh yeah, but then this, we can talk for days.
So I think to wrap up, what if somebody's trying to get into radio?
Yeah.
Maybe they don't have to take the typical approach, but what would you recommend somebody who is like, I really love broadcasting? What do I do?
Well, I mean, the first thing that you think someone would say would be, well, go to school for it.
Right. Typical answer.
Yeah, that's your typical answer. We're not typical cats.
No.
Right? I didn't go to school for this at all, which always like randomly surprises people.
Yeah, none.
Yeah.
Like you didn't even go to like a community college like, Radio 101.
No, I barely graduated high school. All right. I did vocational school at the same time for marketing, not for broadcasting.
Well, that definitely shows.
Yeah. Well,
you got the marketing mind.
Yeah. It's, I say broadcasting it's such a finicky thing, right? Because if you can bring other elements to the game of the actual on-air game like we are right now, you can be an asset. I don't know if you can be a full-time asset, but you can be an asset, right? Honestly, get into broadcasting if you want to become a character. Okay. That's the first point that I would make. It's significantly easier for me to talk on this microphone and do my show and hype up these songs and this station business or whatever is happening, currently at the station or in Nashville, if I get to pretend to be a character.
Right.
Because I'm more confident, I have more charisma with that character than I do as an actual person. It's easier for me to talk to 1,000 people on a stage or tens of hundreds of thousands of people on this microphone than it is for me just to have a one-on-one conversation with somebody that maybe I don't really know that well.
Right.
So
that makes sense.
If you are a creative person, I would say go for it. If you are charismatic or you have a character that can be charismatic, go for it. I would say your way in would be to find somebody that has been doing this for a long time, right? Ask them what you can do to help them to get your foot in the door.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Whether you start as a mix show DJ like I did, where you're not allowed to talk, but you say, you know what? I got a pretty good voice for this. I think I could do it once I can find my voice. And that's going to take you a long time if you become a broadcaster, is finding your voice. I listen to some of my old air checks and I'm just like, woof. Woof. Who am I? But
you need those. It's like your first vlog. You need to have a benchmark where you're like, I've improved vastly.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to just, with anything, you got to start.
Yeah,
just do it.
Yep. Get your foot in the door. Find a popular, radio personality in your town. Email them. Show up at the station.
Even like a podcaster.
Yeah, a podcaster as well. because essentially we're almost in the same vein here.
Right.
Like podcaster
Right.
is a lane off of broadcasting,
Exactly.
right? It's almost the same thing. It's just I'd work with music regularly, right? But yeah, find somebody in one of those fields. If you're set on becoming a broadcaster, find a local radio personality, whatever format. Because if you want to become a broadcaster, you love music, right? Unless it's just for talk,
right, or for sports, right?
But
yeah, I think what you're getting at is be very specific
exactly
about what you want to do.
Yep.
Or if you're not sure, just start tasting stuff, like add value, work for free. Don't work for free forever.
No.
Pick your spots.
Yeah.
Like, know what you need to take home every month or every week, but you should have extra time. You and me have done lots of stuff for free because we wanted the knowledge.
Yeah. And I would also say is you're not just going to wake up tomorrow and decide that this is what you want to do.
Nah, I mean, took me until midway through college.
Yeah, and like we talked about earlier in this podcast, I was cutting my own pretend radio shows at 15
just
on an HP computer that had a microphone in the monitor.
Dang.
You know what I'm saying?
Low tech.
Yeah. Oh, you talk about low tech.
We got to find those tapes.
And I would record those on, do you know what software?
Audacity?
Acoustica. MP3 editor.
Oh, it had the little headphones icon.
And it would start with a clap.
Little metronome.
Acoustica. That's what it always had. I would edit it on there. And I knew. I was like, I don't know what it is, but I'm fascinated with that voice inside the box, inside that person's car.
Dang. You're a true pro, man. It's cool
dude.
to see you do it. I love when I come to town and I'm in an Uber and I'm like, yo, that's my best friend. He's on the radio right now.
Let's go.
It's a point of pride.
Yeah.
I think you and me have helped lift each other up, and
without a doubt,
you got to find best friends like that. That's important for life.
And the important thing is find quality ones, not quantity.
Exactly.
Because they're all going to go by the wayside.
It's a two-way street, man.
Yep.
We would hang out when we had no dollars.
Oh, gosh.
And when we have all the dollars.
Me and Jeffro used to walk to the McDonald's drive-thru and knock on the window with a pocket of quarters.
That's real.
Yep.
That stuff humbles you, man.
No, it absolutely does, dude. Just coming from where I did, I would say I'm easily the most successful person in my family, and that's not even trying to brag.
Yeah.
That's just me saying that my family didn't have the resources that I had. Like future generations of my family will have even more resources.
Of course, yeah.
So I'm proud to carry that banner. I want to make my mom proud, my dad, I want to make you proud, Max, and the people that are my biggest supporters. Those are the only people that I don't want to let down.
Those are the people to focus on. You focus on the ones that support you. Everybody who listens to this show, wins. Dude, this has been cool.
Dude,
this is so much fun to get to do it on a platform, and I get to build this because media has given me and you everything we could have asked for in our lives, and being able to have this technology and just have the interest, the curiosity, and now making a podcast at my friend's radio station.
We had to
mics.
We had to kick somebody out of here. We're like, come on now.
So it's a level of obsession, and we love this stuff.
Yeah. It drives me crazy at the same time.
Same, man.
But I can't wait to get in here every single night.
Yeah.
It's true.
So this is so where can everybody find you? If they're not in Nashville, how do they listen to the station?
Well, there's enough people moving to Nashville every day, so I advise you not to.
Don't move here.
All right, there's already 100 people a day moving here. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at YourFaveHomieJR. My YouTube channel, which I'm not too kind to. I can tend to take some time off, which you've talked about.
It's busy, yeah. Don't do the daily vlog is hard.
No. But with this prom tour coming up and St. Patrick's Day, these are all prime days for mobile DJs to be booked. So
somebody could find you out there. If they're in Nashville, maybe see you at a gig.
Absolutely. Coming up, I'm going to be doing a St. Patrick's Day party at Von Elrod's. It's going to be on the 14th.
Nice.
Of course, I got the prom tour coming up. That's private.
Yeah. You got to be out of school. You got to attend.
I'm booking gigs all the time. My YouTube, YFH TV.
Yes.
You can listen to my show even if you're not in Nashville. You can download the Nashville's I-1067 app or listen at i1067.com.
And you can call in.
Please call in. Please, because I would love to hear from you. It happens every, so often somebody from my YouTube will get a hold of the show and they're calling in. Hey, I just watched your vlog about the corporate party you did. Hey, what were those speakers you were using?
Yo.
But yeah, dude, you can reach me pretty much anywhere. This is weird, man.
It's cool. I'm glad you're the first guest.
Yeah, I wanted
really
to
like work it out, and
I'm glad you chose me to be.
And you're the obvious choice.
Thank you.
Because you and me have been rocking man, just since we first recorded like music.
And it feels great for you to be doing an audio based program.
Yeah, I love that.
I love that.
Yeah, no, it works. So, all right, I'm sure you'll be hearing more from your favorite homie, JR.
Yeah.
I'll have him on more of the vlogs. We used to do so many vlogs together. I'm going to bring that back.
We have a lot of stories, too. So if you ever need a story time filler, holla at your boy.
I like that. Yeah, I think we should do that. Especially on the YouTube, for sure, because we got so much content to share.
And I'm going to challenge you right now to eventually, for this podcast, come up with a sign-off.
Oh, well, this is my intro, but I'm going to use it as a sign-off.
What do you got?
All right, so that is all for me. I'm your host, Dave, and I am media. Catch you next time.